and welcome back to the EZNZ podcast. We're excited today, as we always are, but we've got a few more things to go over with you guys, some new stuff coming, some exciting stuff that Fletcher can't wait to talk about. So we're going to run through some of the new updates coming to Windows in the April update, obviously coming very, very soon. And we're doing another game review for you guys. So hopefully you guys liked our ones last week of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Crackdown 3, and the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, not Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's why I looked at you and was like, what are we doing this week?
We happy few. You guys know I've been excited about this game as soon as it was announced. I've said that about every game. Like we always do.
This one was another one where, like, in this one he was like, write it down, tell me more about this one. When's it coming to Game Pass? Is it coming to Game Pass?
As soon as I saw a game that looked like Bioshock, I was just like, right up here. Like,
right up here.
Right up on my
excitement,
priorities.
like, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's more than fair enough. And
got
even,
its own dedicated podcast, right?
Yeah,
like, you say we're talking
we...
about the April update, but really,
just
we happy few. That's why you're watching that.
When we were getting ready and stuff, Fletch started telling me about it. I was like, mate, hold that thought. Like, you're very excited and I just want to record you talking the way you are. So clearly a game that you loved and enjoyed straight off the bat.
I love. Are we going to just dive straight into it? We're going to set the
No, we're not.
I thought those
just
were
a
the
quick
vibes you were
overview to
giving me.
recommend. No, we're not.
We're doing the hook. The hook, guys.
We're doing the hook.
I like it is a game, 100% a story-driven game about a dystopic alternative United Kingdom in the 1960s, which is all about brainwashing and people trying not to be brainwashed. It's epic. I hope I'm going to tell you things that you didn't expect from the game, but would absolutely make it better and make it more in depth. So
yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that. But let's go in first off with the new changes coming to Windows.
What are your three favourite things?
My three favourite things. So we do have some notes in front of us because we don't want to miss anything. But you guys all know that I say my favourite thing about everything. But okay, I'm only allowed three favourite. My first favourite is the new Windows snip. So Snip and Sketch came through in the October update and I talked about it then, that was one of my favourite things, so I'm carrying on the theme. And what they've done is they've made it a little bit better. So usually if you hit Windows Shift S, you can then clip a section and it'll let you clip whatever you want. You can even do like a lasso tool to get like a funny little shape or however you want it. But something that I think is missing for me and for us and what we do a lot of step-by-step tutorial videos. So now with Windows Snip and Sketch, you can just hit Windows Snip. And for example, I've got OneNote open at the moment. I'll just hit Windows Snip and it will clip just that. So it won't be the taskbar and those kinds of things if I have a specific web page open or the file finder open or something like that. It will snip that full section. So instead of like having to draw over
I somehow
the
missed that. So I'm learning on this podcast
but
already.
That's the important thing, right? And that's why I love talking about these things, because for some users it will be the smallest little thing where they go, hey, I'm going to use that every day, and it makes all of the difference to what they do. And like, we watched a few videos about this update and what's expected to come, and a lot of people were kind of saying like, oh, it's not really a huge update,
it's just a UI update.
It's just a UI update and all of this. And then we looked and we're like, this is huge. Like the amount of things, like you referred to the October update as sneaky big. And I think the April update is going to be just the same. So to make this fair, so I don't steal
you're gonna throw one my way?
Shall we do one for one, just so I don't take 100%. All the best ones?
And I know we're going to do it anyway, so we'll finish it with some honourable mentions.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Okay, right, I'm going to build off your one.
Okay.
And this is something that I think I definitely got a little bit more excited about.
Yeah.
But Cloud Clipboard.
Cloud Clipboard,
so being able to, it's not going to be something that's automatically enabled, but you're going to be able to go onto your settings and enable something called Cloud Clipboard.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what your clipboard is, it's just an annoying notification that comes up when you close Office sometimes saying, do you want to clear the clipboard? That's where everything you copy goes.
Yeah.
So when you do Control-C, when you highlight stuff, right-click and copy it, it appears on your clipboard. So Cloud Clipboard, of course, enables you to access that one clipboard across multiple devices.
Absolutely.
Which, for someone like you've seen us, we've got our good old Surface Book 2s out today, because that's probably what we use when we get in the office.
Yeah.
But at home,
definitely.
Well, definitely, 100%. But at home, I actually use my Surface Go a heck of a lot.
Yes, you do.
I use that more than my Surface laptop, which I think has surprised a lot of people, but I love it.
Yeah.
So when I go home and I'm going to work on those devices, or I'm doing a cheeky, late night, we need to check this thing out and quickly get it done, having Cloud Clipboard let me access what I've copied off my Surface Book without opening it up and, going through 5 different steps.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. So good.
Hands down amazing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick, because I have a few more favourites, and I'm hoping that we're just going to kind of interchange and talk about all the ones that I want to talk about.
Can I suggest one?
No.
Okay,
so I'm going to go with 2 and 1.
No, that's cheating.
No, it's not cheating. So, the start menu, and I know the start menu is some people's most favourite, some people's least favourite part of Windows. And what I was really excited about was this was actually a question I was asked a couple of weeks ago. Is there an easier way to unpin what you don't want from the start menu? And now there is. So previously you had to go and unpin tiles one by one. Now you can simply right click and go unpin group. So for example, there are some pre-installed games and things like that. You can just get rid of that whole entire section.
Yeah.
So that is super, super helpful. And with that, and please don't tell me off for this, I'm going to encompass it into one. There is a new default layout with a Windows 10 device. So when you buy a new device, post-April update or... so buying a new device, post-April update, your default start menu will be significantly simplified from what it is now. So I know that it's like a 2-column pane when you get it out of the box now. It's now down to 1 column. It shows you the group functionality. So for example, you get an Office app, then all of the Office applications, which will actually straight out of the box take you to Office Online, which I think is really good. I think that is a very strong...
Now you're going into...
I'm sorry. But it's a very strong message against Google Chrome, right? Of course, you can use Google Docs and all of those programs online, but you can use Office that way too. So even if you purchase Office, that gives you a great place to load in your product key and download all of the software, but it takes you to all of the Office applications online, and it's in a group, so it's a nice little drop-down folder that you can rename or change. But I think that that's just a great way of showing customers how they can personalise their start menu to make it, work smarter, not harder for them. A notable mention on that is that if you are currently using Windows 10, you've already customised your start menu, you like your start menu as it is, it will not overrun your start menu with this new one.
So it's only
it would.
A lot of time customizing yours.
Mine is how it is, and I'm very happy with it, and I don't want it to change because I'm happy with how I've set it up. But I think that for a new customer to Windows 10, having that simplified default menu, 10 out of 10 for Windows 10. I think that is very, very cool.
Absolutely. I'm gonna choose one which I really like, and I'm expecting you to choose something as your third, so we'll see. Otherwise, it's gonna be my third.
Yeah.
But there's something called recent activity introduced to this update, and I love it because it's almost like they're built upon timeline and giving you another option, which is something Windows does so well, and giving options for the way different people like to consume things.
Absolutely.
Which is why Hannah's start menu is a lot more organised than mine. But so recent activity is a new feature that will be found when you click on your little search bar or the little magnifying glass, if that's what you've got on your taskbar at the moment. When you click that, it'll show you your most recent activity, so like programs and files you've been in. So why is that there when we've already got timeline? Because it's just the most recent stuff
almost
you've
like
been dealing
quick access within your file explorer. So
I think it's like a great way to build upon what timeline is offering in a really, really super convenient way to pick up where you've left off. So we talk about students and stuff accessing the same files over and over again and doing all that type of thing. I think recent activity is going to make that even easier than what timeline already has.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited. I think I'm going to use it a heck of a lot.
And this isn't my third one, this is just in addition to what Fletcher said. But with that, it's also, I totally have, and we all knew that was going to happen, right? When we said 3 at the beginning, you're like, yeah, right. But adding to that, you can actually now set an enhanced search functionality as well.
So this is
which no, it's not. Which I'm very excited about because at the moment, literally, and please don't judge me, but at the moment, pretty much my whole desktop is taken over with things.
Should we show them?
We should not show them.
them.
But when I'm working on stuff, if it's a presentation that I'm going to do tomorrow, or if it's something that I have to finish and email out, I save it to my desktop, and then when it comes to times like this, I'm probably going straight after we finish recording to go and tidy up my desktop so Fletcher can't do this to me. You're just lying. Why do you have those kangaroos do? If you didn't see that, it's just kangaroos cuddling, which is great.
Compare just to,
no, absolutely not. Anyway, so, but every now and again when I feel ashamed like I do now, I will go up and I will clean up my desktop. So with this advanced search, what it allows you to do is literally search your entire PC, whether it be, right down to individual files, folders, all of those sorts of things. So the only reason I don't do a desktop cleanup more regularly, I should just organise my files from the beginning.
She likes to treat it like her room at home.
Very tidy. Thank you very much. But so with things like that, as soon as I reorganise stuff, I'm a little bit terrified that I've then lost it forever. So having that enhanced search functionality going through even all of my cloud files. So Fletch and I have a shared OneDrive. I have my own OneDrive as well as my work OneDrive.
Folders in it.
I know.
When
I am organised, I have a lot of folders. So having that enhanced search setting to be able to really dig deep into your device. We did an expo over the weekend and we needed some videos. And I have videos in all kinds of folders. So if I could have just searched promo videos or something like that, having all of those come up with this advanced search would have been amazing and awesome. But yeah, that new functionality is definitely very, very cool. And can I go on to my last one now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
She's
I'm just
taken
talking
all the
about
honourable mentions.
as I do. But my other favourite one.
So this is I'm going to say fourth one because I do agree with her start menu. That's okay.
Yeah,
that was
okay, thank you.
One.
But the enhanced
But she has no control. I don't. She's going crazy.
I can't filter myself. But my other favourite, very similar to the start menu, how I've customised it, and I like that. You can now customise, well, as of the April update, you will be able to customise your action centre. So that is the area on the right hand side that ducks out. At the bottom, you've got your tablet mode, network, all settings, airplane mode, all of those kinds of things. And they kind of just are what they are. You can have it collapsed, you can have it expanded, and I always have it on expanded because I like to access things easily, like the project and connect, as well as battery saver mode, Bluetooth mode, nearby sharing, screen snip, all those kinds of things. Sorry, I'm not looking at you, I'm just looking at my device to make sure I list all of them. But now, similar to your start menu, you can unpin things from there, and you can also reorder them. So the way that it's set up now, I would definitely absolutely reorder mine. I'd keep tablet mode there, but I would want Bluetooth up there, as well as my focus assist, and probably project as well. Yeah, those really important things. So instead of having to have it in the expanded menu, I can now change it and personalize it and have it as the collapse menu, which I'm very excited about. But wait, there is more on that as well. Stop it, Fletcher, I can feel your judgment.
I'm just I'm going to backstory my last
but
one.
But on that as well, there will now, instead of just the brightness where you get darker, suggested, brighter, brightest, darkest, that sucks, right? I'll be totally honest, and I'm not a fan of that, and neither is anybody else, because this has been one of the most feedback things since 2015. So there will now be a scroll wheel, and at the bottom, so you can more efficiently scroll bar.
There we go.
Yeah, scroll bar. At the bottom, so you can adjust your brightness as accurately as you would like. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. So, thank you for your time, and thank you for letting me have all of those.
No worries. So when we came into this, if you look at our notes, we did have notes, which we don't normally do. Hannah had 9 notes on her screen.
Yeah.
I had 5 of my favourite things. My 5 things have been covered. Hannah's covered 7 of the 9 things on her screen, plus the 1 extra thing. So overall, Hannah's covered 8 of her favourites and left me with two and two more to choose from.
I'm really sorry.
So,
I'm not sorry. I just want you guys to know. Because as we said, this update is sneaky big, and there's going to be heaps of cool things that change how you interact with Windows.
I'm going to choose something then, which I think is just a very cool update in the fact that it's a really cool idea, and I think it's definitely going to, as the update actually rolls out and we use things, we're going to find more and more use of it for it. But something called Windows Sandbox. And Windows Sandbox is going to be great. What it is it opens, when you open Windows Sandbox, it opens up a window on your computer with a new Windows environment with absolutely nothing in it for you to go in and play around with. And as you play around with it, it doesn't actually affect anything in the Windows installed on your machine. So it's like a virtual version of Windows, almost like having a virtual computer appear on your screen, which is awesome. So for Hannah and I think it's going to be awesome because we are constantly, doing screen records, we're constantly doing all sorts of customization that we don't actually want to do to our own computers that we use.
See, I think that's hit the nail on the head, right? Even demoing, changing themes, personalizing the start menu, all of those kinds of stuff. I can definitely see myself using it for something that simple to not mess with my start menu.
100%. We don't want to mess with the environment on our working computers at all.
Absolutely.
And even when it comes to our demo computers, we usually have them set up in very specific ways for how we want to demo them, right? So being able to just click of our fingers, open up a brand new version of Windows and create whatever content we need to straight away, that's awesome. We've heard all sorts of stuff online by people who I think came across it, thought it was cool, didn't really know what they're going to do with it yet. But stuff like downloading programs you're a bit nervous about to see if there's a virus. Because if there's a virus, it's stuck in your virtual environment. It's not actually on your machine, which is pretty cool.
And what's really cool about that is you can,
no worries.
Stealing, just
Hannah's
classic.
done 9 things. Bye guys. I can go home now.
Literally I'm just ignoring you completely. I'm just I've got something to tell the people. You can actually download stuff into your virtual environment. It will appear in your start menu. You can utilize that application. But when you look at your program files, it's not there. It is not there. It is not in your start menu on your actual device. So I think that that's really cool. And I mean, even just thinking of wider uses for people like software developers and all of that kind of thing, I know a lot of discussion is always around apps for Windows. And just the ease of access for developers to be able to test them out. Test it in a virtual Windows environment, see how it works, try again, make improvements, all of those sorts of things. So I think it's not going to be something for everyone, but for the people who want it, they're absolutely going to love this feature.
And every time you close it, it wipes that environment so that when you open it again, it's fresh and ready to be built anew.
Like a sandbox.
So we do really only have one honourable mention now.
Yeah, we do.
And that is, there's another theme coming to Windows, and it is light theme.
I think we've talked about this before. This has definitely been on the cards for quite a while.
I think particularly when we're talking about Office is when it's kind of we know about it. But this is on the actual Windows UI, right?
The entire interface of Windows.
And it does look pretty cool. I think we've talked about dark theme enough to know that we're not going to switch away from it. But even in saying that, the way dark theme works is getting better. So the black is becoming more of a charcoal dark grey.
They've lightened it ever so slightly. So I use the dark theme in all of my stuff. And sometimes it is just too dark, I'll be honest. So lightening that up a little bit, and I've just lightened up
just makes it look more stylish.
The whole UI as well.
So it's still good on your eyes, but it looks nicer when you're carrying it around. And that light theme, I think it looks pretty nice, but like I say, I think because I'm so into my computer every day, I probably wouldn't use it. But for those style people who are into that style, perfect for them. On that note, I think we should get into some games.
Let's review We Happy Few. Alright, We Happy Few. It is finally time for Fletcher to talk. I haven't played the game. I've just heard Fletcher totally rave about it. So take it away, my friend.
Absolutely. I just starting off, a huge fan of We Happy Few. I I played quite a lot of it yesterday.
Productive workday.
Productive workday, but I really wanted to get a little bit more in depth with this game compared to maybe the level I got on in the last few, and I'm glad I did because We Happy Few is amazing. I'm just going to start off where you start in the storyline because you start in a room. You kind of just like, it's like waking up, but you're starting in the game. It's kind of like waking up because everyone in the We Happy Few universe takes a pill called Joy, which kind of puts them in this foggy, like the world is good, everything looks amazing, everything is great. So you start off and you're starting to, have your joy run out. And what you do for a job is you censor old newspapers. So if anyone wants to go back and do research or anyone wants to even publish a new article, it goes through the place you work and you censor it. So you start the game censoring stuff, and as your joy runs out, you start to see all this flashing around you, and it's because when you run out of joy, you see the world for what it actually is, and it's a little bit of a something hole. So, whereas before, you're seeing great, like, colourful walls and like a really 60s theme. Now you're seeing it's all covered in dust, everything's broken, it doesn't really look nice. So you go to take a joy pill, and this is when you start to really get into the game, and you can choose to take it or not to take it. And I chose not to take it, so I threw it on the ground, threw the pill bottle in the rubbish can, and then my boss comes in, and I find out that it is one of the employees' birthdays, so they've got a piñata in the break room, and they really want you to go and smack the piñata and do all sorts. So, because I get so into story games like this. I went into every single room as I went down the corridor to the canteen, and as you go through the rooms, it starts to get more grim. So I haven't told Hannah this stuff yet, but you walk into rooms where people used to work, and there's like one room which is a murder scene, one room which is like just had someone get up and abandon it. And there's rotting food in the rooms and stuff like that. When you're on the joy, all the rotting food looks like it's normal food. But when you're off it, then all of a sudden flies are buzzing around and it's not a great place. So,
just a question there. So obviously you're talking about, so this is kind of, a story-driven game, a story-driven setup. How much of this intro process are you actively involved in?
So you're pretty much, as soon as you choose your joy pill or whether to take it or not, you're totally in control. So
that's great. For impatient people like me, that's great news.
It's really good. So you don't have to be like me and go into every room and check it out. I went into the point where I cleared all the newspapers on everyone's desks. Just because I wanted to get some of the backstory as well. But so once you get out of there and you go onto the room where they're having a party, there's just a lady smacking a piñata and it's not breaking. So your boss gives you a broomstick to smack it, and you go and you're not in control on this part, it's a little cutscene, and your character just smashes the broomstick down, and then your joy fully runs out. And you look down and you're actually smacking a dead rat, and you smacked it so hard that the joy pills, the lollies inside have come out, and blood spurts everywhere. And then you look at your boss and the employees, and they're just downing these joy pills with rat blood and stuff on their face. And obviously your character must look a bit horrified because you're like, you really haven't taken your joy, you're a downer. So you run away from everyone, you get pretty much chased out of town. 2 bobbies come at you because it's set in the 1960s in Britain.
Police officers.
And they beat you in this underground tunnel and just leave you for dead pretty much. And that's kind of where I think the game gets really into. So that's a great intro process there, right? But what I found out after that is the game actually is a lot of survival based as well. So you have a health menu, you have to craft your own medicine, you have to craft your own bandages, you have to find your own food, you have to drink your own water. If you want to take water with you, you need a canteen to fill up fill up with that water. most of the food you find is rotted. So if you want to eat it to fill up your thing, it says you've got a risk of getting food poisoning.
Wow.
Most of the bandages you have when you start off are dirty bandages, which means you might get an infection. So it goes right into all that kind of detail, which I thought was really cool, and I totally didn't expect it from such a story-based game, which I did expect to be Bioshock in a different universe. That's probably what I did expect, and to a large degree it is like that.
Yeah, similar.
But not 100%. You eventually find, once you come out of this tunnel and you escape, there's a whole world which is outside kind of the township you're in, and you're in a town called Wellington. And this is all the other people.
I'm from.
Not the same one. You don't smack your head, but these are all, it's filled with ruined buildings, but it's where all the people who have been chased out because they've run out of joy, or joy doesn't work on them anymore, have gone. And so the first person you really meet, which is really important to just the overall progression of the story, is an army veteran from World War II. And I've been picking up clues as I go through the game. But this is a universe where the Germans invaded Britain and took over. So it starts to make more sense as you get into that. So the whole idea is joy's really being spread to make the populace more compliant for Germany, so they don't realise that all their foods and youth and stuff are being taken to go and fight on the Eastern Front, fight the communist threat. All sorts of stuff like that. So as soon as that happens as well, I love that. History buff, alternate history, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Because I did wonder how the story would be set given the timeline.
100%. It's very, because you still have that 60s feel, but it's also I will find you. It's just it's definitely good at being alternate, but
because I think that was such a strong time of propaganda and censorship and all of those sorts of things, and where people just didn't talk about being unhappy.
100%. They didn't, and it was going into even more historical things. It's when methamphetamine pills and stuff you used to be able to go get a prescription for. And just pop them, right? Everything was solved with methamphetamine when it came to
I didn't know that. Wow.
Mental illness back in that day. So that's another story though. But so that's huge. The whole thing after that is you want to go rescue this war veteran's medals because he won a Victoria Cross.
Wow.
I think I don't know, Knights of St. John Award or something like that. And you go and fight these guys called the Head Boys, which is this first kind of Mad Max dystopic cult that you come across, but they've all got bobby hats, and because I'm like I say a nerd and I read every single note of paper and stuff I pick up, I know that to become a head boy you had to fight in this arena, which they do make you fight in. And that's where we'll put a few clips in here because that's where you get to see most of the action that I took yesterday. But they have to sneak into town, they have to beat up a bobby and steal his hat, and there's extra points if you steal the head bobby's hat because it's red. So it's all sorts of
things.
Cool things, but as you are fighting, your weapons deteriorate and they break, and you really rely on your stamina to throw punches. So I almost see it is a mix of Fallout in survival mode, but probably not quite as intense. And Bioshock, and I think that is awesome. I think I need to stop there to stop any big spoilers happening.
Full big spoilers.
Because you get clues to what's really happened in town quite early. And now it's meeting those suspicions, because joy wipes your mind in the game, so you forget everything and you slowly have to relearn it.
And I think that what's so cool as well is that, as Fletch said, you do get the choice at the very beginning,
Yeah.
right, to take the pill or not take the pill. So Fletch chose to not, so he played the game in one way, but if you chose to take that pill, you'd play the game in another way.
100%.
So something that would be really interesting to go back and play at both times.
I will so do that.
Absolutely, you're
When Bioshock 2 came out, I finished it every way you could. I think there were 6 endings. I didn't cheat and just, reload points where the key moments were. I 100% played it 6 times. That's how into these games I get.
Yeah.
So.
What are your final thoughts, Fletch? What's your favourite thing about the game, and what kind of rating would you give it out of 10?
I would give it, personally, for my style of game, I would give it probably a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I think it's a really cool game. I don't want to be that guy who'll just go give things a 10 out of a 10 willy-nilly. That's not true. Hellblade's Senua Sacrifice.
I hated it.
Yeah, there we go. So I think that's awesome, and like, if you looked at this game and were like me and thought Bioshock 2.0 different universe, don't think that, because there is so much that's different. There's so many more layers which you can, in terms of gameplay. In terms of interacting with characters, so 100% get out there. Any story-driven gamer will like this game.
Awesome, and once again, this game is available on Game Pass.
It occurs to me that the locals may not be all that welcoming. Oh dear, let's try not to get killed, shall we? Hello? Anyone out there?
Oh, bloody... Are you a tourist? You're dressed like one.
Shit.
Slumming it, are we? Must be nice to have a closet.
Over here! Over here! You want to get thrashed? Come in! Come in! God, you're new here, aren't you?
Thank you guys so much for joining us on another week of the podcast. We would absolutely love to hear what your favourite features in the upcoming April update might be, as well as any others you guys might have heard about.
100%. You can choose, the full 10 features we talked about today. You can choose like 8 of them, like Hannah did.
Yeah, classic.
Share your desktop
We really
with us.
expected
Let's
nothing
see if we can top Hannah's messy desktop.
No.
She's hating me right now. I'm gonna die after this.
Yeah. It was nice to see you guys one last time.
Goodbye. No. But in all seriousness, we would love to hear from you, and I'm looking forward to the next one, as always.
Absolutely. Let us know what game on Game Pass you'd like us to review next.
100%.
100%. We've really enjoyed being able to do that. It's definitely a really cool, fun part of our job. So whether it be a new game, an old game, or something that you've just never heard of before, because there's a range of indie games on there as well, it'd be really cool to have some suggestions from you guys, and we'll share our thoughts on it with you guys. But thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.